8. A god scorned, a king torn, madness of the Maenads and Pentheus' downfall. News of the prophecy spread through Achaia, solidifying Tiresias' reputation as a seer. However, Pentheus, son of Echion and a man who scoffed at the gods, remained unconvinced. He mocked the blind prophet's predictions, taunting him for his blindness and misfortune. Tiresias, his head crowned with white hair, retorted, "Lucky for you if you too were blind. Then you wouldn't witness the rites of Dionysus. The new god, Liber, son of Semele, is coming soon. Deny him a temple, and you'll be torn to pieces, your blood staining the woods and your own mother and aunts. This is your fate for refusing to honor the god and complaining, 'I see too much in my darkness.'" Pentheus drove Tiresias away, but his words proved true. Dionysus arrived, and the fields echoed with celebratory howls. A throng of men, women, young and old, surged towards the celebration of these unknown rituals. "What madness has seized you, warriors of Thebes, descendants of the dragon?" Pentheus roared. "Can mere clanging metal and curved pipes truly sway you? Will women's shrieks, drunken madness, and a troop of weaklings with tambourines prevail? You who fear no warrior's sword, trumpet, or battle formation?" He turned to the older men. "What of you? You sailed across distant seas, establishing a new Tyre and your exiled household gods here. Why allow them to be disregarded without a fight?" Then he addressed the younger men. "You who should be wielding weapons, not thyrsuses, and wearing helmets, not green leaves, remember your heritage. Take up the courage of the dragon who slew many to defend his spring. He died for what was his. Fight for your own glory. Repel this feeble foe and reclaim your city's honor. If Thebes is fated to fall, let it be by warriors and weapons, not an unarmed boy who toys with myrrh-scented hair, dainty garlands, purple robes, and gold embroidery. I alone will expose his false father and invented rituals. Let him stand aside." His grandfather Cadmus, Athamas, and his companions pleaded with Pentheus, but he only grew more enraged. Their restraint fueled his fury, like a torrent held back by obstacles, becoming more violent with each obstruction. Suddenly, servants returned, stained with blood. When Pentheus demanded Dionysus' whereabouts, they denied seeing him. "But we captured this one," they said, his attendant and minister in the rituals. They presented a man from Etruria, bound, who followed the god's rites. Pentheus glared at the captured man, his anger making his eyes burn. Though eager to punish him, Pentheus decided to delay the inevitable. "Wretch," he growled, "you seem destined for destruction. Your death will serve as a warning to others. Tell me your name, your parents, your country, and why you follow these strange new rituals." The man, unafraid, replied, "My name is Acotes. I come from Maeonia, and my parents were humble folk. My father wasn't a wealthy landowner, with fields for oxen or herds of sheep. He was a poor fisherman, relying on lines and hooks to catch fish from the streams. When he passed away, he left me nothing but his fishing skills. That was the only inheritance I received." Achates explained that he grew tired of the same scenery and learned to navigate ships. He studied constellations to guide him across the seas. One day, while sailing towards Delos, they landed on the coast of Dia. There, on the shore, they saw a beautiful young man, seemingly drunk and sleepy. They examined him and saw nothing that suggested he was mortal. Achates, sensing the man's divinity, addressed him as a god and asked for mercy. However, Dictys, the most agile climber among them, disagreed. Blinded by greed for spoils, most of the crew wanted to take the young man captive. Achates, the only one who opposed them, argued that carrying a god on their ship would bring bad luck. He tried to stop them from taking the man on board, but Lycabas, a violent exile, threatened to throw him overboard. Finally, Dionysus himself spoke. Awakened from his slumber, he questioned the sailors about their actions and his destination. They lied, promising to take him to Naxos, the place he desired. Achates, however, knew their true intentions and refused to set sail for Naxos. When the crew realized Achates wouldn't cooperate, they took over the steering, leaving Naxos behind. Achates continued. Driven by madness or fear, the men jumped overboard. The first to transform was Medon. His body flattened, fins sprouted, and his back curved like a fish. "What monster are you becoming?" Lycabas cried out to him. But as he spoke, Medon's mouth widened, his nose hooked, and his skin hardened into scales. Libys, trying to row, saw his hands shrink and morph into fins. Another crew member reached for the ropes, but his arms vanished, replaced by a crooked, finned body as he plunged into the waves. His tail resembled a crescent moon as he thrashed about, spraying water on the ship. They resembled playful dolphins, bobbing and diving, spewing seawater from their wide nostrils. Out of 20 men, I was the only one left. The god, seeing my fear and trembling body, reassured me, "Don't be afraid. Head for Dia." Upon reaching there, I served at the sacred altars of Dionysus. Pentheus, fuming, interrupted, "This story is a long-winded attempt to waste our time. Servants, drag this man away and send him to a horrific death in the underworld." The Etruscan, Maenads, was dragged away and imprisoned. As the cruel instruments of torture, iron and fire, were prepared, the unbelievable happened. The prison doors flew open on their own, and the chains slipped off Maenads' arms without anyone touching them. Enraged, Pentheus refused to delegate the task. He marched towards Mount Cithaeron, where the wild celebration of Dionysus echoed with singing and the shrill cries of his devotees. Just as a spirited horse whinnies at the sound of a war trumpet, raring for battle, so did the clamor in the air ignite Pentheus's rage. In the mountain's heart, where the woods thinned, revealing a clear, open area, Pentheus's mother, Agau, was the first to spot him spying on the sacred rituals. Driven mad by Dionysus, she was the first to attack, hurling her thyrsus at her own son. "Come, sisters," she cried, "let's hunt down this monstrous boar ravaging our fields." The frenzied crowd turned on Pentheus. They swarmed him, their rage now directed at him alone. He trembled and stammered apologies, admitting his offense. However, any attempt at reason was lost. Wounded, he pleaded, "Help me, Aunt Autone. Remember Actaeon." But consumed by madness, she didn't understand. She tore off his right hand as he reached out to her, while Ino ripped off the other. Left defenseless, Pentheus could only show his mangled body as he cried out, "Look, mother!" Agave, howling with madness, flung her head back and shook her hair wildly. Grasping his head in her hands, she declared, "Victory is ours, my companions." The wind doesn't scatter autumn leaves clinging to a tree more swiftly than the cursed hands of the women tore Pentheus apart. This brutal display served as a horrific warning. The women of Ismene, shaken by the events, began worshipping the new god, offering incense and honoring his sacred altars.